parents will opt to buy a student rental for their child's education. Typically, at this time of the year, many parents will opt to buy a student rental for their child's education. So, for example, in January, February, many parents, many kids, university kids start looking for accommodations for the next year. And in doing that, they will find that there's a huge lack of clean housing. Many of the housing options around universities and colleges are in subpar conditions. The entrepreneur parent will say, hey, why don't I buy my son or daughter a home and they can go rent it out to their friends. This will now cover the son or daughter's rent portion, and with some appreciation over the next 3 or 4 years, will probably pay for the education as well. So many families will start doing that at this time of the year, looking for such properties. Now, some of the advantages of going with a student rental property as an investment is, as a parent, you get to control who is staying in their house. If your son or daughter typically goes off and finds an accommodation with a landlord, that landlord is just looking to fill the home. They will fill it with whoever first come, first serve to that home. So they could be people who are smoking or doing drugs or parties, keeping up the volume all night, or many people coming in and out, becoming a party atmosphere. But if you own the home, you will now control who is coming in and out of the house, and you will keep it down so your child will now get a good education and they're able to focus on their studies. This is a huge advantage of controlling that situation. The other perk I find is typically students as tenants are a high quality tenant. Why do I say that? Well, typically students, their rent is guaranteed by their parents. And their parents are able to afford, the $500, $600, $700, $800 a month, which is not a huge stretch considering when they were possibly in first year, they were paying much more to the university for them to live in a dorm. So when a kid moves from a dorm to a house, there's a huge savings in accommodations as well as food. You don't need a meal card anymore. So the expenses are going down for the parent, who's the tenant. Many of the students are going to turn over tenancy, so they'll only be near home for 2, 3, 4 years. Once they graduate, you will get a new bunch of students in. This is a huge advantage because in a rising rent environment, you get to now charge market rents very quickly, as opposed to locking in a long-term tenant who's in there for 10 years and 3, 4, 5 years later, you're like way under market value. Many international students who are looking at renting these houses come from very, very wealthy families outside. Students are often not very fussy and they're okay with renting in rooms. And typically in these houses, you're going to take it and break it up into multiple rooms, thereby increasing your revenue in the home. Sometimes you'll get parents who are ready to prepay their son or daughter's year up front.